Yeah, we're kind of making a little bit of a bet on the stolen base element. I think that the stolen bases are going to move up more than they did in the minor leagues. I just, I could really see the stolen base kind of coming into play here, and putting Locastro on the roster, I think, serves the functionality and the strategy that we want to deploy.
Billy, why do you think Ruf didn't work out for you guys at the end of last year, and even if spring had a slow spring?
Yeah, I think just generally it was hard for him to get kind of get his feet underneath him. Gene Michael used to tell me a lot when we'd be leaving spring training about players, and he would say, "I hope they get off good, and they get out of the gates good." And he had his first game here with us. I think he got a double, and then just it kind of started snowballing with a few games there, and it just kind of continued to go. So feel bad for him as a person and the things that he kind of endured, but I appreciate how he handled everything and how professional he was through all of it. But just like last year on some things, we're gonna make the best baseball decision we have to make. When I talked to Cohen about it, he said, let's just make the baseball decision. So that's similar to some messaging last year on some things. So that's it.
How much did Tim just benefit himself? We know the speed element, but just what he was able to do with the bat in his hands this spring.
Yeah, I think he was actually one of the more productive hitters for us this spring on the stat sheet. Him and DJ Stewart, but for Tim on this club, it's going to be the defense, it's going to be the speed, the base stealing, base running. One of the things we looked at, analytically over the weekend was just, how often do situations happen in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th inning where somebody that we might pinch run for would get on first base with second base open, and how many times that occurs, and being able to give Buck that bullet to fire as he sees fit. We just felt that was important. One of the things that we talk about in building a bench is kind of building the diversity of the bench, right? You don't want to be holding a 3-run lead and then kind of look down your bench and everybody's just a big hairy guy that hits the ball in the seats, right? You want to have somebody that can defend. And conversely, if we're sitting there and we're down 3 runs in a game, you don't want to look down the bench and have everybody that is just a defensive specialist or a speed guy. You want to have diversification, and so I think Tim does that and adds that diversification to the bench.
If I'm not mistaken, you have 27 guys left in the room. You made a formal decision on that final bullpen spot?
We'll announce that in a day or two.
How do you look back on the Ruf trade?
It's a trade that didn't work out, plain and simple.